Blessing to have you on our show, and we're welcoming you to our platform and get it all started with how did you get involved with football as a kid?
Oh man, I got an older brother and I got four sisters, but me and my older brother, the way we really got involved in it, we all obviously, we used to watch the LA Rams from Southern Cal, and I was a big LA Ram fan, and we've always we would watch Monday Night Football. You probably don't remember, but the guy, his name was Howard Cosell. He was the Monday Night Football sportscaster. He did the Monday night game. And at halftime, he did the halftime show. Chris Berman used to do it, but the way Howard did it, he really did it. I mean, he did it really well. So
I
we go
remember
out there and
clips of
start
him.
acting. Yeah. Yeah, so we go in the backyard and we started acting like we were the guys. I was Otis Taylor or whoever, Lynn Swan, and we pick our favorite guys and we do that in the backyard. And I just had passion for it there. I became a big fan of the game. And my goal one day was to say, just one day, maybe I want to do that one day. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Besides those receivers, who else were your sports role models outside of the game of football?
Oh yeah, number one was my dad. So my dad was, as far as my figure outside of football was my dad, and I had some really good mentors in my life. I had some uncles that really, and believe it or not, my mom, because and I remember the things that she had to sacrifice when my dad couldn't get me there or be a part of it. She kind of stepped in and did his role, so she was a big part of it too. And then it was good to have a supporting cast of the rest of my family members, my brothers and sisters.
Definitely. With Fresno State, jumping a little bit forward in your football journey, how did that come about for you? And was there a culture shock going from LA to Fresno State?
Well, in between, it wasn't a direct, what I want to say, it wasn't a direct flight to Fresno when I left Long Beach Poly High School. What I did is I had to make a pit stop at Saddleback College. That's in Mission Viejo. That's a JUCO, junior college. And just felt like I think I needed to grow a little bit more, and I need to get that experience and get that game experience with me before I can go to that D1 school and really be the person the player I really think I could be. And what I did is I did the Saddleback stop, and I went there and I got myself together. I got my game straight, and I got my confidence, and I got my swag. When I got that, I was ready. So I had a bunch of schools that were coming after me and offering, and Fresno State was one of those schools that really stuck out because one thing that was important about it that my family was going to be able to be close, and I can be close enough where they can drive up 2.5 hours and they can support me on the home game. So that was the biggest driving factor behind it. I mean, the University of Minnesota and you had some of the other schools, the big schools that were recruiting me. But I always had that in my mind was I want my parents to be able to come, my sisters and brothers, they come see me play. So that was my when you look at my route that I took, I had to make that stop at Saddleback. That was the biggest thing that happened. But yeah, when I got here now, I mean, it was pretty much game on because, and I knew coming in as a junior, instead of coming in as a freshman, I was ready. I mean, when spring ball started, day one, I got after everybody lined up on the other side. They knew who that guy was. They didn't know what he was going to do. They had never seen him before, but, they saw something different. And I went out there and the coaches, I mean, they knew exactly what they were getting when I actually signed with them and they recruited me because, from day one, I think I stepped on, I think it was in their mind that this is the guy that's going to help us. And they were right. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Fresno State's representing a lot of athletes in the NFL now.
Oh yeah,
a lot from the Raiders. Oh, and your receiving core, Devontae.
Yes, yeah, that's
Adams.
good. I really liked. I knew one day this would happen, and I knew Devontae was looking forward. If an opportunity came up, that he would make that move and try to see if that was all. It's always a dream that you can play with college quarterback, because it's one of those things to where, man, if
connection.
you remember, we go back and you think about it and go like, man, remember what if we could do that again, but on the bigger stage, that would be awesome. And I listened to Devontae, what he said before. He was growing up in the Bay Area, and he always been a big Raider fan, but it didn't fall the way in the draft. So he ended up going way to Green Bay and Derek went to Oakland. So you know how that went. So now the two will cross paths again, and I think they're going to be a great combination with him, Waller, and they got to put some other pieces in place. And I think now Raiders have pretty much put themselves in position to compete for the AFC West, which is going to be tough. And then the Chargers and the Chiefs, of course, and the Broncos has put themselves in position. That
division is stacked.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy now. Yeah,
that's definitely probably one of the best divisions in the NFL, in my opinion, and probably a lot of people's opinion.
Yeah, but and you remember too, when I was playing, you forgot we had Seattle in it, so which made it even sweeter. But they took Seattle out and they redid everything. And I'm like, man, we had a great division. It was Seattle. It was always when we go to Seattle, I mean, you got to go to Denver. Then they got to go to the Raiders, which back then they were the Los Angeles Raiders when I were playing. And then and obviously you got the Chargers. So everybody, you just didn't know what was going to happen with the AFC. You just know it was going to be some battles going on within that West division, because we all were trying to get to where we had to get when it came playoff time. Yeah,
definitely. So, Mr. Paige, how did Fresno State prepare you for the next jump, the NFL? What lessons did you learn there that helped you transition and produce right away in the NFL for the Chiefs?
Yeah, it was one of those things where we had, my coach was Jim Sweeney, Jim Sweeney, bless his soul. He was one of those guys who ran a pro style offense. He actually did, because which really helped me and made it easy on the transition from Fresno State to Kansas City it was kind of like the same route tree, and everything was the same. So I was very familiar. So a lot of other rookies thought I kind of had to jump on everybody. I never got the routes early or anything. It's just that's the system that we ran at Fresno State. And I guess what I actually did is just had to perfect what we were doing. I just had to make sure that I did it the right way. My breaks were sharp, everything the way we did it when we executed, and just get myself in position, learning that system. And if I can get that system, and I didn't know that system was going to be like it was, because we had a new coach that came in '83 when I came in my rookie year. His name was John McAbook, and he came from Wake Forest. And John's system was pretty much, he was going to let it fly, So I think mentally I was prepared at Fresno State, and the coaches prepared me there, and I was ready. I mean, I tell you what, by my senior year, I was pretty much set on, whatever system comes in, I think I can run it, because it all based off the same. The numbers of the systems are pretty much the same. But I mean, it was weird, because it was like the system in the Kansas City route tree system was exactly the Fresno State system. So some little things I had to do, but nothing major. So now I can go in and run at full speed and not kind of jog and go like I'm not sure. I mean, I was 100% sure. Oh yeah, I knew that. That's a dig. Oh, the 5, that's a comeback. Oh, that 8, that's a skinny post. The 9, everybody knows that's a go. So yeah. So it was really made it easy for me as a rookie going in.
Heck yeah. So with your talent, your level of talent to today's game, who has the same talent as yours?
Oh man, see, that's a hard one, because I'm a combination. Because now I'm a combination. I could be a combination of Devontae. I could be a combination of a Tyreek Hill without that blazing speed. But I knew I had the speed, because I've always run past people. And then I can look at, let's see who else I can look at. I'm just trying to find the guys, and I want to go back and these are young guys. DeAndre Hopkins attacking the ball. And then I can look at Amari Cooper and the way I ran routes. And gosh, man, it's a bunch of guys, in that game. But again, I wasn't just the one guy. I was kind of like a blended. I got a little bit of him. I got a little bit of him. and that's how I played my game. So I can play inside, outside, and I was pretty universal as far as my game. But I knew most of my stuff that I did was outside. But in my rookie year, my first couple of years, I did a lot of damage in the slot. And so I think what happened was they said, if he's doing what he's doing in that slot, we need to move him outside. Now, what happened was, and I think what happened, I remember, was that one of our veteran guys, Henry Marshall, had got hurt, and Carlos Carson was the other side. And what they did is say, well, shoot, man, he's doing what he's doing inside. And I said, we got to move him outside and see if he can do that outside. And it worked out perfect. When they put me outside, it just went crazy after that.
Heck yeah, man. So
Yeah.
this is a loaded question, man. With the NFL has top level athletes, who was the toughest defender to get by in the NFL?
Ooh, we had some tough ones. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I had two tough ones in Kansas City. The names of the two was Albert Lewis and Kevin Ross. And those two guys worked me, and that's why I said on game day, there were no other two that were tougher than those guys. You went up against them every day. They really worked me. And I tell you what, I worked them. So if they ask you the same thing, they'll say every day I went against Stephone, he made us work. And we had a receiver crew that was really, we worked. And, and we were all, Albert and Kevin and myself, we were all those young guys just getting started. So we had that energy and we had that swag, and we were always up for the challenge. So, but when we get into the division, man, now we had Mike Haynes was one of the good ones, and then we had a guy in Denver, big old lanky. He looked like he was about 6'3", 6'4". His name was Louis Wright. He played safe. He played corner, and you had David Brown and it was in David Brown. Was it Seattle? Or was it Houston? And we had some good corners. We had, I want to get some good ones. Another corner in Washington. Daryl Green. I went against Deion Sanders. He was a younger Deion Sanders, so he was gonna be good. He was getting good, but
prime time.
Yeah, I went against him. But I tell you what, Gil Bird from the San Diego Chargers, and the list goes on. We had some Dave Brown from the Seattle Seahawks, and they had some good corners. And we had some competition, but we had some really good corners, defensive backs in the AFC West. We had some really good ones.
Heck yeah. So life after football for you, Stephone, how have you applied the trials and tribulations of the game of football to your personal life?
I understand there's going to be setbacks, and my coach Sweeney used to say at Fresno State, a setback is a setup, so don't let setbacks going to make us stronger. So, in life, just like in the game, when I was playing, we had there were some times in the game when we were up or we were down, when it came down to the crucial time of the game, what are we going to do with that last possession? What are we going to do with that last 2 minutes? And it taught me that, every day now, and I learned this in the game, that every day is going to be a different test. It's going to be a different task. We're going to be challenged. There's going to be some things that we're going to face adversity. How do we overcome it? Do we overcome it? And my way of doing it now is I depend on Christ to get me through it. It's just my faith going to have to get me through now. When I look at the game and then I look at my faith, and I kind of say, okay, I can tie it in together, because that's how I got through my game. A lot of times I didn't talk about what I did, but my faith actually got me through. And I can look back and nobody thought I was going to make it anyway into the NFL as far as I got, even with Fresno State in my game. We look at where it started at in high school. Now, I wasn't that guy, but my faith and my work ethic and my attitude, that was the thing that when in the end, that everybody saw happen. Nobody knows. It wasn't me. I just know that Christ was working it out. It was his timing, not mine. And so what I have to do every day is I just have to keep myself and once you do make it, and once you're doing well, don't gloat in it. Don't be proud about it. Be humble about it. And one of the things that I've always did is try to say, I've always wanted to try to make somebody else around me better by being better my own self, by being that example of what better looks like, and speaking better, talking better, and let my actions be better, and always ready to serve. So that's it right there. You know, when you look at life now, and I'm looking back and I'm looking at the game now, and what I have done different. I don't think I would have done a whole lot different, because I think I had my priorities in place, because I knew that it was God that opened that door up. You know, how am I to make it as a free agent? You know, everybody knows they sign up. We went back then, they were signing 125 guys coming to camp. It was like 150 guys. You look at the back of the receiver line. It looked like the LA traffic with 405 on a Monday morning. You go like, how am I gonna get out of this traffic? Trust him. And so that's what I did. Everything in training camp, those 4 weeks of training camp. Sometimes I didn't want to get up, but he said, trust me. Trust me. I'm going to work it out. Go out there and get it in. Trust me. And I had to remember when preseason started, it started getting gloomy, and they started letting a lot of guys go. I started looking, the traffic started getting lighter in my line. Trust me.
Well, Stephone, you have your Kansas City shirt and hat on.
I do. Yes, sir, I do.
So
I want to represent.
My next questions for you are brought to you by B&D Sports Media. And yesterday, your Chiefs made a shocker, trading Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins for 5 NFL draft picks. First, I believe, a couple later rounds, and 2 draft picks for next year. Would you say that's enough of compensation for Tyreek Hill? Probably one of the best top 3 receivers in the game. Would you say that's enough compensation?
Yeah, I can say they overdid it, because they gave him $120 million.
Yeah, when they signed him 40 or 30 mil a year. Yeah,
that's it. And that was plenty of compensation. You know, like I said, if you want to make the big moves, you want to, if you want to risk, and you want to take a chance and really put it all on the line, say we really want to win this year, then you got to make big moves. And that was one of the moves that they had to make, and that they made, and they found a way to do it, because I don't think the Chiefs would have listened unless you came in with the package that they was coming with. I don't think the Chiefs would even blink at it. And I know Andy Reid and his system. It's his system. And now I'm not being negative and say anything bad about this. What I'm going to say now is, now when Tyreek goes into that system with Tua, it's going to be totally different than Mahomes. So for the reward, there are going to be some sacrifices that he's going to have to make for it. It could be good or it could be bad, because you're leaving a guy by the name of Patrick Mahomes that's been successful. That's you know what he's going to do. And now you're going, and they got a guy named Tua, and I don't know how sure they are with Tua. You know, we could hear something happen where on draft day they could trade Tua. I'm just saying, because now they got a number 1 grade top receiver. You know, probably one of the top 3 receivers in the league. They got him, and now what you gonna do with him? Because it'd be a shame to give him $120 million and use him in motion and move around and clear somebody out and never be able to get the ball down the field. You know, so a lot of things come into. It's going to tie into what it's going to do to make this deal work, to make it good for you. Kansas City's going to get theirs now. The deal's done. Okay, they're doing this. They're done. Okay, so now they're moving forward. So now the thing is Tyreek, can he fit that system that Andy Reid had, that system that he had, which was, I think it was more flexible for him. Now, what are they going to do? What system are they going to put in? If Tua's the guy that they're going to go forward, and they're going to be able to use Tyreek in that system, that's going to help him be able to be successful like he was in that Kansas City system. So to be determined, and I'm a believer that all things are possible if he go out there and work, and I think it can happen, but he's going to have a lot of work. They're going to have to put a lot of work in with Tua, like I said. And if he signed that contract, and if things are done, if that deal's done, he needs to be down there right now. They need to be starting. Him and Tua need to get together right now, today, maybe this morning, what time it is. They need to get to working on it. Tua's the guy. Whoever else is the guy, they need to start working with him, because he's one of them guys that's going to be a little different, because he'll outrun you. He's one of them guys that can outrun you. So you got to get that timing now. So hopefully they're talking about setting up the workouts and getting things going, because I tell you what, it's a great move for them. Now what can you do? Can you protect Tua? Are you going to be able to have the guys in place? Because see, if you got a big play receiver can't give him the ball, what good is to have a big play and to have a big play receiver? See, you got to kind of think that way. And I'm sure they're thinking now, what do we do now? And then you gave up your draft picks because you needed an offensive tackle and you needed somebody you're going to get. You gave up your picks. So now what are we going to do? Did you find it in the free agency, or did you find it? Are you looking for it, or did you get it, or did you make another trade? So see, all that falls into place. But they got some work to do to make sure that this is going to make them look good, because I tell you what, this staff now, I mean, the one piece is not going to make that puzzle complete. And then I go back and even when I go back and I look at the Devontae, I'm jumping over to the Devontae trade with Derek. That's a great thing. I mean, it's great that the two are coming together. Okay, but they got three guys on offense. Okay, you got Renfro, Waller, and now you got Devontae and you got Derek. We still have inconsistency at the running back game. What are you going to do with the running game? Because
they have a beast running back. They got Jake.
They do. They got to keep him healthy, though. That's the thing. You got to get him in 6 weeks. He got to play 18 games. He hasn't showed me he got that endurance to go all the way through. He's got to be able to do that because that's how the NFL is, different from college. So now what you got to do is you got to say we got Devontae. All we did, we added one piece to the puzzle. Did you fix that defensive backfield? You got some things you got to fix on the defensive side. See, so it's not one-sided, because offense gets clear now, and now defense, man, we can't win a game. Offense, defense can't stop guys. I mean, they can't stop they can't stop the running game. They can't stop the deep passes. We have no cover guys. So now we're going to go back and compare. That's the deal with the Tyreek deal. So there's a lot of risk, and it's a lot of high returns if it works out. We'll see. To be determined.
Definitely. That's how your Chiefs were last year. Couldn't stop the run. You can have all that talent on the offense, and your defense is mediocre at best. It's stopping the run and the passing game.
There you go. Now you said it. You heard me say it. Now you saw it and you said it. Now let's see what happens.
But what's your thoughts on Tyrann Mathieu? Still being out there for the Chiefs to pick up. I like him. But I think he's got maybe might have a couple in him. He may have a couple. I think he can help a team. I really do. I think he can go. He's one of those guys where I think the Raiders can really help him. He's one of those guys, because the Raiders are usually getting guys that they're kind of like getting up there. They're kind of close. He's one of those guys I think he can give the Raiders 2 years at free safety. You could put him at free safety. Smart guy, really smart guy, a leader, Super Bowl champion guy. Can be a great example. He's definitely a clubhouse leader, a veteran guy who will show the young guys and the veteran guys how to go to work every day. He does pack his lunchbox and he bring it and he puts his hard hat on every day, every practice. I think he deserves. Another shot. And I think the Raiders would be a good fit for him. Definitely. Well, we'll end on this, Mr. Paige. Where can my audience find you on social media?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, shoot. You know what? It's crazy. And I'm on my link that I hit. It's the 309 Academy at Gmail. That's my link. So everything will go through that site. Shoot. And this year, believe it or not, my kids, my wife has been telling me for years. They said, "Dad, you gotta go on social media. So 22 is my rookie year. So I finally went on social media. So yeah.
Well, Stephone Paige, it's been a blessing to have you on our show. And this concludes our interview, my friend.